right, so we're going to talk about the likelihood of events. So the first thing is we need to talk about likelihood and how you write or find the probability. So probability is the likelihood. So probability is the likelihood that an event will happen. Probability is the ratio, which we write as a fraction. So it's the ratio of the number of ways an event can occur to the number of possible outcomes. So again, probability can be expressed as a fraction, such as 1/2, or it can be written as a decimal, which 1/2 as a decimal is 0.5, or lastly, a percent, which 1/2 is 50%. So again, we write our probability as a fraction, where the denominator is the total number of outcomes, and the numerator, the top number, is the number of ways the event happens. Okay, so that's how we write our fraction. And what else is important is that we need to have our fraction in simplest form. I can't stress that enough. We need to simplify the fraction. Okay, so there's a couple different ways to express or to write the likelihood. So things could be classified as impossible. So impossible has a 0% chance of happening, 0% chance of happening. So it'll be written as 0% or 0 in, fraction form. So that's right here. Impossible is 0. Unlikely has a 1% to a 48% chance of happening. So it can go anywhere from here all the way up to about 48%. So from 1 to 48 is all unlikely. Equally likely is somewhere right in the middle. So it's about 49 to 51%. And generally, chance of happening. And generally, you'll see that expressed as a fraction of 1/2. This is about 49 to 51. And that's equally likely. Something that's likely is over 50, right? So it's 52 to 99% chance of occurring. So this could be any range of fractions, right? So this goes from 52 all the way up to 99%, and that's likely. And then the last one is certain. Are we certain it's happening? That's 100% chance of happening. And that's, as a fraction, would be classified as 1. So impossible and certain, they're have a smaller probability of happening. They're not probable because they have such a small window of chance. But unlikely and likely, they have a big window, right? They have about 48 chances to happen each, so they're pretty probable. Let's go to the next page. So we want to classify each other thing and figure out what likelihood it is. So we want to read the sentences and figure out, is it impossible, unlikely, an even chance, likely, or certain? Right? So Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd president of the United States, will visit the College of William and Mary tomorrow. the third president, Thomas Jefferson, will visit the College of William and Mary tomorrow. So we're on our 46th president. That sounds about right. So Thomas Jefferson, in case you're unsure, he is deceased. He is no longer alive. So can he visit the College of William and Mary tomorrow? No, he's no longer living, so it is impossible for that to happen. What about school will be canceled tomorrow due to excessive heat? Okay, well, it's not impossible, and it's definitely not certain. But do you think it's probably going to happen, or do you think probably not? Hopefully you're thinking probably not. It's unlikely. Yeah, it's going to be warm, but excessive heat would be 120 degrees. It's not going to be 120 degrees tomorrow. So it's unlikely. If you roll a standard die, so a standard die has the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 projected on it. What's the probability it'll show a number less than 7? Well, hopefully you're thinking that's certain, right? All of the numbers on the dice are below 7. So it's definitely going to happen. Okay. If there are 3 red marbles and 5 blue marbles in a bag, what's the likelihood of drawing a green marble? So first we want to figure out the total marbles. Total marbles in bag. So how many total marbles are there? Well, there's 3 red and 5 blue, so there's 8 in total. And what's the likelihood of them drawing a green marble? How many green marbles are there? 0. So then that is impossible, right? Can't happen. There are no green marbles in that bag. All right, so we're going to do a similar thing. So we want to find the fraction and then classify the fraction as unlikely, likely, impossible, blah, 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 blah. So what's important to remember is that we always want to simplify our fractions. So first we want to figure out the total number of outcomes. So first figure out total outcomes. Okay, so how many different possibilities are there? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 possibilities, right? Okay, so there's 8 possibilities. So how many are vowels? So remember, vowels are A, E, I, O, U. So how many are vowels? There's 1, 2, 2. So 2 out of 8 are vowels. Is that fraction in simplest form? Hopefully you're thinking, no, I can divide them both by 2. That's going to give us 1/4. Where does 1/4 or 25%, where do you think that falls on this scale? 1/4. Well, that's about here. 1/4 is about here. So that's going to be unlikely. So we're going to write 1/4 is unlikely. So that's the likelihood of it happening. We can't just stop at 1/4 because it doesn't say what's the probability. It says the likelihood. So you have to take it that next step. All right, we're going to do the next one. So a consonant. So a consonant is every other letter besides vowels. So every other letter besides vowels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd be 6 out of 8. Which we can divide them both by 2. So that's going to give us 3/4. 3/4 is about 75%. That's going to be pretty likely, right? It's fairly likely. I'm going to do one more and have you do D on your own. So how about a letter in the word fabric? So we want to figure out how many are in the word fabric. So we'd have to go through it. Is B in the word fabric? Yes. Is F? Yes. What about C? Yes. B? Yes. Is D in the word fabric? No. What about E? No. F, yes. And A, yes. So it's about 6 out of 8. So again, same probability of above. It's likely. So we'd figure out, okay, there's F, A, B, and C's. Okay, so that's how we figured out. We went around the circle, figured out how many were in the word fabric. All right, so I want you to do the same thing for zoo. I want you to do D on your own, and we'll check that out together next time we review these.